Hello, my dear Virgos. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between January the 1st to January 15, 2017, with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So, if you want to support my channel, you can click the ad in the beginning or view it for 30 seconds or to the end of the ad, whichever comes first. Thank you. I will be very grateful. It will help me keep up the service to my general viewers. As I said, I'm very grateful but also for all of you watching, liking and subscribing to my videos. My subscribers are now more than 20,000, which I never expected. So know my gratitude for you. So I'll use the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. The artist is Mark Evans. And we had already a jumper, a little Page of Swords, talking truthfully. So I call the divine with love and light, and I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and I call the 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit and ether, to join us here today. And here we also had a Knight of Cups. Love. So to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Virgo viewers. So I want my dear Virgos to have love in their life, also to find themselves having creative success and walking on their highest path towards spiritual enlightenment and fulfilling their highest destiny here on earth at this time. So I want to take the chance also to tell you about the beautiful full moon, January the 12th. We will also see Venus reaching its greatest eastern elongation, and it will be on the highest point over the horizon in the evening sky. 8 of Pentacles, so not only talking and loving, but also working. That's great. So the 12th, look for the brightest planet in the western sky after sunset, and you will see Venus. You had a lot of jumpers, Page of Swords. I saw Ace of Swords here as well, Knight of Cups and 8 of Pentacles. So it seems like you need to work on something within love, to continue to work on something and very much start to express yourself truthfully, exactly how you feel all the time without being afraid of conflict. And look what we have here. A card hiding 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is it's a card about being stuck maybe in your case. I think you are being too well behaved, so you're forgetting to tell your truth. You're kind of shutting your teeth in front of your tongue, so you won't be able to speak. And this is something that are advised for you to stop, okay, to not do anymore. So what to do with this card? I always want the jumpers back in the reading, because if they come again, so we get a little context. So but it feels okay to shuffle a little bit more here for you, Virgo. It was a lot of jumpers, so 2 8s as well, so that's really something that you have been working on for a long time. 8s are like eternity symbols, so a pattern reappearing, or something that's reappearing for you to experience something from many different angles. Okay, so I will tune in for a few seconds. Okay, so Virgo, this is your future. This is your now, and this is the past. The now is probably the first half of January 2017, but whenever you watch this, is probably the exact right time to see it. So, okay. First card for you, Virgo, is King of Swords. So, King of Swords, it might be an authority figure, and from what I saw with the jumpers, you might fear authority figures, and you might keep your mouth shut in nearby of them. So You won't cause conflict or get rage drawn down on you. So King of Swords is a judge. It's a person having a lot of rules, which he wants people to follow because he's very smart and he has calculated everything that can go wrong. So this is how our society has been built on protecting us from things that can go wrong. We have a lot of laws and regulations that helps us with that. But sometimes it's getting like too overly pessimistic. We are always thinking of what can go wrong instead of dreaming a little bit more about what could go right. That will help universe a little bit, the law of attraction, to make our lives more happy. But the King of Swords is a good archetype. It's like your father archetype, like a person looking out for you, seeing to that you are home in time, that you sleep in time, don't use the computer too much, don't date the wrong persons, not drink too much alcohol, things like that. So it's a good archetype to have within you, but if you let him take too much space, you will become a boring person, not doing anything funny because it's dangerous, not taking risks because it's dangerous, and thereby missing out of a lot of chances. So being smart is good in that sense that you avoid problems in the future, but sometimes steering things up a little bit, making a little bit of mistakes can be exactly what the doctor have ordered here, because this is too much structure maybe and too much regulations. So this fellow here, he might keep you stuck in some old way of behaving because you have learned that this is a good way of behaving. It has kept you safe until now many times, but it might have also gotten you stuck in something, a relationship, a job, a certain pattern of behavior. So we'll see where it goes with this. King of Swords is a nice person to have on your side because he always look out for you, but sometimes not really caring so much for others. He has the yellow here that's indicating solar plexus. That's a good state of human development. It comes to it usually when you are 3, like mine, my thing, me. But if you stay in that development stage, it is not really good for either you or your environment. So a flaming light there. It's interesting. Probably male function, but anyway, especially with the sun here coming up. Okay, the sun card has a little bit of the same colors as the King of Swords, but here it's on another level. It's beautifully, it's kind of emphasizing this yellow with this that you know who you are. It's more like this, and this is an inner child, and this is a father, and this is the inner child's feelings and the inner child's soul that kind of guide this child. So it's like this. Usually we have a daddy that wants you to study on college, meet a nice partner, behave well, do a lot of things that's they think is in your best interest. But the sun is a card about you being you, and you're being sent here on earth to be exactly you. So it might easily become a little bit of conflict between those cards, but in the same time, the ace is this is seeing things clearly, and the sun is also seeing things clearly. So I think we can get some kind of understanding in between here, but communication is needed, much communication, even if this is maybe a partner and your own needs, or this is your fatherly archetype within you and your own needs. It might also be a judge and a juvenile that's not really following the rules always, because they have some inner calling. I'm thinking about social disobedience that yeah, Mahatma Gandhi did this and free all of India, so sometimes this is a good thing. And this is a good thing also in families with civil disobedience. Sometimes this is how development is happening, and we don't stay so conservative, but actually liberate ourselves a little bit. With lesser and lesser rules, because humanity is also growing as spirits. This is a person that's enlightened. So when we are enlightened and we have a hotline to our soul, we might not need so much human laws and regulations anymore. So next card for you is Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands is usually Aries. It can also be Sagittarius or Leo, or any sun sign, any sun sign. But it's more like talking about a personality. This is a person being a great creator, and this person is also very compassionate. They have great understanding about humans. They can kind of walk a mile in their shoes just by putting their mind to it. Probably because they have lived like 1,000 lifetimes on Earth. So they have a lot of experience, and sometimes also a lot of traumas. Probably because they have been such a bright, shining light. They have also often being persecuted by authority because they are not very obedient. They are revolutionary. They are typical for the women that shouted for bread in the French or Russian Revolution and started those big revolutions. So they are not so much for obedience, but more for compassion. And they are also very hot-tempered, so they can be easily warm and then really angry, and shift in temper like this. And it comes on after the Sun card, so I think this queen is extra warm and passionate and enlightened and all-seeing. So it might be that you have an Aries person in your surrounding or some fiery person. Either there's a conflict here, so this person doesn't go well with authority, or they have themselves become a bit of an authority, and sometimes being very compassionate and sometimes being very like with a hot temper, especially with the sun beneath here. Okay, so you have a strict authority figure in your life and a hot-tempered Queen of Wands here. So this might be Aquarius. This usually Aquarius, this card, but it might also be a Libra or a Gemini, or any person that's kind of being an authority figure, or kind of claiming knowing the truth and knowing the only way. And so they are kind of tall and seeing things like from their falcon perspective, so they are very sure about what they know. That's beautiful. That's how you lead a group into the future, but sometimes there comes new energies that's more wiser than you, and you need to recognize this. Okay, so here we have a Wheel of the Year. So Wheel of the Year is usually revolution. So it seems like you might have a person in your life that's very authoritative and also may have some kind of a hot temper in some way. And I think this is for you to learn this, or either you have a hot temper and you need to maybe do a little revolution against this. It's different for different Virgos. It depends on exactly the time that you were born and your different, where you have your ascendant moon and so on. So for some Virgos, it's like you need to do a revolution against authority, and maybe both within you and on outside of you, because maybe you also have like very much rules and regulation and a hot temper, and you might also be troubled by this on your outside. So the Wheel of the Year is something that coming again and again, like wants to be solved, wants to be seen from different perspective and experienced and eventually solved. It's karma, you can say. But when we speak of karma, people think also often of things they have done wrong. But the most usual karma is when you haven't been yourself. And Things come back again and again and again until you are doing it exactly as you would do it if you were yourself, true and true, and not compromising yourself or trying to, complicate yourself in some way, make you entangled in rules and regulations or certain behaviors or patterns. Or so usually karma is like cleaning. Karma wants the essence of you, what you are really, truly, deeply, when it comes to the core. So therefore a situation can appear and again and again and again and again until you master this. And this is magician, so this is kind of mastering this. This is using your willpower, using yourself, who you are, who you really are. The magician is a person that's taking the control into their own hands. Sometimes they can be a manipulative trickster. So watch out for this in your environment, like a person trying to manipulate you, maybe with authority, kind of frightening you a little bit. They are used to you getting nice when they frighten you with maybe raising their voice or telling you that they know the truth here. This might be a challenge, but when you have it on the outside, as I have told you, you are supposed to take it also to your inside. So maybe you can either tell them, don't raise your voice with me. I'm not going to listen to you just because you have a high voice. Contrary, I won't listen to you at all. Or you can self say, okay, if you will heighten your voice, I will do the same. Or something else. But anyway, see what's happening, so you don't get dragged into this. You have very beautiful cards here, so it doesn't seem like there's a very big problem. It's more that the things that fall out were really talking about a revolution and start to speaking the truth that you have within you. And those cards are emphasizing this. They are saying the same thing. You need to be very truly you. This is very strong personalities here. The strong inner child that's totally connected with the divine and know everything could be very tedious. And the King of Swords that have lived for eons and know everything because they know how their grandfather did things. And the Queen of Wands, that's, yes, she has been everywhere, done everything, and she is very in tune with her temper, doesn't really care about who are in the way for her temper, so she can be very difficult like this. And the Magician being a trickster, wants things their way and wants to manipulate people into thinking like they are. Sometimes this is really good. If you have a dream, you use your willpower or whatever kind of element here and you create what you want. So it's very beautiful, but in the same time, power like this can be used either to help and align yourself with your highest path or make a big mess and kind of rule and take over the world. So it can be used in different ways here. This was the past, and here is the now. Here we have the Eight of Pentacles, and it comes underneath the King of Swords. Yes, okay, working accordingly with tradition. Maybe you are very traditional in your way of foreseeing the future, maybe very cautious, maybe you lean a lot against family values, social rules, how you were brought up, the things that the grown-ups said to you. So it seems like you want to be a good person, obeying authority, working in their service. In Sweden, we have something called jante lag. That's a law for people to behave and to not like stick their nose up and think they are something. So it was very like a way to keep people in chess for several hundred of years. No one were supposed to be different from anyone else. Everyone was supposed to keep quiet and keep in the group and do as everyone else and work hard for authority, because authority was the only way that you could be different if you were an authority figure, so everyone else needed to obey. So this is a little bit what I see in here. Persons wants to be good in the eye of authority. So maybe a lot of the things that you do is not, you don't do them for yourself, for the sake of your children or the sake of your friends or your boss. You're doing it because you have an old belief that you need to work well to serve authority. It's a very old thing. It's really outdated, but still a lot of people are thinking like this. And once it was very good because authority needed a lot of slaves working in industry or building their castles, or it depends on what time period we are talking about. But now this is kind of coming a little bit to the end. And here we have another 8, and it comes underneath the sun. 8 of Wands. 8 are beautiful. They are doing things to perfection, you know, working on things to perfection. And when you find, you know, a little disharmony, you fix it. So 8s are very beautiful in this way. And it's almost the whole reason to why we are here, working things to perfection, trying to be more and more ourselves. This is the sunlight coming directly here from your inner child and their beautiful soul connection. So it's kind of a choice I can see here, even though the sun and the King of Swords is very much alike, with this being very enlightened, seeing things from an above perspective, things like this. It's still like the King of Swords has armor, and the sun boy here, he has none. He is naked. So that's a big difference. Protecting me, protecting not anything, only wants to be my undying soul. Okay, so no ego involvement here. A lot of ego involvement there. I want to protect my life. I want to reach to great heights in my life, being an authority figure, being this master. And this one, more simple, but yet more divine, more in tune with their soul. So there's another type of 8. This 8 is very beautiful. It's a 8 about wanting to be a good person, wants to be to service, wants to do a good job, things like this. Very sweet. And the 8 of Wands is also very sweet. It's like the sun's rays coming in, seeing the truth of things. It's kind of the quality when someone comes and say, well, you were right and I'm sorry. And you say it back too. So the beautiful, like, kind of understanding that you can have for yourself and other people. So this is enlightenment. This is actually seeing things from a greater perspective. So I think you you have really been starting to see a lot with yourself and this relationship that you have to authority. And maybe you are re-evaluating a lot of things with this. Seeing that maybe authority is something we as people are giving to certain people, which we want to kind of speak for us, but they were not something to be feared or like this. They are given authority because they are worth it, because they might have something to say, they have something to help us with. But if they don't, they have kind of lost their role and we don't need them anymore. And this is a person having their soul as their authority. So that's a bit different. So underneath Queen of Wands, we have 10 of Cups. So there might be a fire person in your life, an Aries or whatever, fire person, or a fiery temperamental person that's also very warm and compassionate and can see things from other people's perspective. I think you love them a little bit because you have the 10 of Cups really central here. And here you have the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands together with 10 of Cups is kind of expressing love. So it seems to be a very lovey-dovey situation here. Maybe continue to working on a relationship, even though it has been some kind of revolution in it. Maybe it was a type of Mahatma Gandhi India revolution. So maybe it didn't have to cause any aftermaths with the people being irritated and angry. Maybe it was a revolution in the service of love. So it might have gotten people closer together, even though they were opponent, maybe here before the revolution. So because of the revolution, there might have been more closeness, actually. When barriers between people are taken down, we can come closer together. So it's not a bad thing for the authority figure either. Okay. So underneath the wheel of the year and beneath, besides the 10 of cups, we have the Fool card. So this seems to be a new start. We have 10 here. 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. We have the Magician 1 and we have 0 here. So also 10. So 10 is a magical number. It's about big change. Hopefully very, very happy changes. New chances, starting anew, new beginnings. You still have a little bit of past here, carrying this bag here, but there's a white rose and a white dog, so there seems to be very goodwill to kind of build something beautiful for the future, and something with compassion and trust, where you can trust people again. New start, probably within love. So very beautiful. And the next card is 6 of Pentacles. So this is also very good. This is actually a card for salvation of karma, like how you level things out between people. Justice is restored. People are compromising. People are showing compassion. They are creating win-win situation. They're really starting to try to understand each other. And one person here is like trying to be the bigger person, trying to fix this. But sometimes it can be like this also. The authority figure thinks that they know best for the little people. So it's a little bit warning with this, especially since it comes underneath the Magician. So be aware of someone being a little bit too full of themselves, thinking that they have all the solutions. They don't. So there need to be equality. It's good if one person is kind of being the bigger person and saying, I'm sorry, I have done things bad, I will better myself. That's a good thing. But if they are more like, I'm wealthy and rich because I'm a good person and I will share to the poor because they don't really know what's best for them, then that's worse. But this is a beautiful card, 6 of Pentacles. But it's also a little bit warning that you don't compromise yourself too much. If you have done a revolution and then compromise back all the wins, that was no use of that revolution then. So stick to your guns still, what you reach it to. Don't be so happy that you are friends again, that you want to give everything back. So then you have to do it again later. So it's better to keep the win a little bit. Okay, so this was in your now. It seems to be a very happy family situation, and maybe happiness within relationship as well. A lot of trust and truth talking. And here we have a little transformation with a king here. The king was an authority figure and a little bit a know-it-all. That had a lot of, was able to see the future in a very logical way. And here now we have a King of Cups. That's a person showing love and compassion instead of maybe wants to prove that they are smart or all-knowing. So they are also smart, but they have like this emotional intelligence instead. They are listening to their feelings and the feelings of others. So it might not be that you are working like a good slave for authority. It might be that this authority figure is trying to work on becoming a more compassionate masculine authority or masculine figure in your life. Or you are turning into be a more compassionate masculine figure in your life, or you're working on changing your view on father figures. You might have had a father figure within you that was a little bit over authoritative or like my way or the highway kind of thing. And now you can change this picture, maybe make the memories of the masculine figures in your life more compassionate. Remember the times when they actually did something good instead of always remembering the bad things. So this is kind of a change here within the person due to hard work for over a long time. So maybe a long-term relationship has changed a masculine archetype into a more compassionate one. And this is also healing. So maybe healing your inner father figure. You don't have to, people are saying, forgive the persons that have wronged you. And that's a beautiful thing. And I recommend it strongly because that is kind of letting yourself off the hook from that, from feeling angry and resentful. But you can't do it until you're ready. But here it seems like a certain kind of readiness for that, to forgive and maybe look at the brighter sides of that person that you might have been a bit angry with before, and I think that they might have taken too much control or too much space in your life with what they knew and what they wanted and how they thought about things. So a good development here in the masculine era. So we'll see what it goes with your inner child then. So we have in this row, here we have a 4 of Pentacles. So even though the masculine is seemed to open up, the inner child here seems to be a bit distrusting, even though we have the Fool card here. So it might be that the masculine energy has been like withholding their love because of feeling that they will lose power, This is a bit of an egocentric person, holding on to their power, holding on to their money, don't want to give it away. So maybe it's like your inner masculine archetype doesn't want to give away the power to your soul, to your inner child. So it might be a little bit power struggle yet to overcome. Maybe you still don't trust that your inner feelings and guidance system are the right way to go. You have reached a certain point by being the way that you have been. So you have reached some kind of security and safety. 4 of Pentacles is a very steady building. It's almost like the tower. But the tower sometimes needs to come down if we have built like too tight structures for ourselves. So it seems like it will be a time when the masculine has gotten compassion, but don't seem to want to give the power away, okay? So one doesn't follow the other, it seems, but yet they will, your masculine inner archetype or your masculine archetypes in your life will start to show more compassion, but they might not want to give up what they have had, the power that they have had by being authority figures in your lives or you in other people's lives. But there anyway, it's an open door here anyway, and the soul will prevail, I think, in the end. Anyway, so underneath the Queen of Wands and the Ten of Cups, this is the feminine aspect, and she is on the warpath, it seems. Knight of Swords is a warrior. So it seems like even though the masculine aspect within you has become like more compassionate, they are still stubborn in some way, don't want to give away power. Maybe still they can be compassionate, but maybe still they want to be the one that knows things or have control over things. It seems like the feminine aspect of this will not be very happy with this. And this is good because you see here what's happening. We had the King of Swords first, and someone here, probably the Queen of Wands, has learned to, they have made a little revolution together with the Wheel of the Year and the Magician, and become a little bit of warrior, like a warrior of truth. The Knight of Swords can be a person going totally against the energy, doing everything wrong, but they need to try it out. But they can also be like the example I gave you with India, that sometimes this kind of opposition is good, but without the weapons, of course. But here's the weapon is the sword, exactly as we have here with the, so it's words, usually words, communication, true communication. And even though this is a warrior, I feel that they are not going to back down. That's the warrior bit of this. It's not going to return to old things. The revolution is already done. It's not going to be as it were before. But this truth talking and smack talking and back talking is it's done in the name of love. Okay, so it seems like this revolution is very much called for and needed, and it's going to make your relationship more loving. So either you have a person in your life that have made a little bit revolution against you because they think that you are over controlling, taking too much space, breathing all the air, things like this. Or it might be that you have done a revolution against authority figure in your life, and they might still be stubborn, so there are still things to be done. You can't really rest yet. You need to still, the power needs to be distributed equally. Here, what I saw with this, as I said, a little warning system, is that they think still that they are in power, but they are helping you with this. Like if you're over emotional, well, they can give you more love, so you won't be so over emotional. But they might have missed the core of the issue, that there need to be equality, that your voice counts as well. It looks like this is what it's all about. We also had a Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords coming when I shuffled the cards, and that's very much like the Knight of Swords, even though the Knight of Swords is more of a warrior energy, and the Ace of Swords and Page of Swords is more of liberation, freedom, talking from your heart, kind of thing. So underneath the Wheel of the Year and the Fool, that was the total change that we saw, like the new beginning. We have a 10 of Pentacles, like it's already a done deal. So this seems like this revolution is happening within something steady, something that's already there, like a family, probably. Maybe memories also from a childhood family, or that you have been carrying with you and maybe repeating the same patterns over and over again in your life. And now you're doing this revolution in some similar situation, like a very stable thing, a marriage, on a workplace, in a family, between siblings, in a love relationship also. So it seems like it still will be there after this a little bit of power struggle that we have here. So it's still a 10, and its 10 is very central. So it's a place of value that's kind of wants to be cleaned out. And yeah, it's like the country of India. If we are going to have very much like different people are different, have a different value, people are never going to be happy in that country. But if you can take away those differences and make equality, there will also be more happiness. So actually, I remember that when the British Empire was about to colonize India, there was a man writing back to the British Empire and saying, if we can't destroy their compassion for each other and their religion, that's kind of a religion where everyone that does a bad thing get punished by God, like with karmic sense, and they are very compassionate towards another. There's no beggars here, there's no thieves. If you can't destroy this system, we can never take over India. And so they destroy the system. They see to that people didn't have food enough, and that they were beggars on the street and thieves, and that's how British Empire took over India. And the contrary part was how Mahatma Gandhi freed India. So I'm not saying that you are India here, but I see a similar tendency, so you can have a clearer picture maybe what's going on in your life. So here you have a 9 of Pentacles. So it seems like you have two choices here. Either start anew with this thing that you have been in for a very long time. Start anew, give a new chance, start trusting, trusting that, okay, now there will be change. People have listened to me and I will stay in this situation at the workplace, in the family, in the marriage, whatever. Or a magician. I will take things into my own hand, create relationships that are equal, and I will do it on my own, with my own energy, like maybe leaving and living alone. So you have two choices, and yes, they seem to come here in pairs. So maybe sometimes you need to rest from from the war a little bit and be on your own. But the Nine of Pentacles comes last, so it shows me the new self. It's like you have got more self-esteem and know now that you can take care of yourself and you don't need the authority figures anymore. This is a pregnant woman in a garden of her own making with also a falcon. So she has kind of stolen this authority from the masculine and gave it to herself. Self-sufficientness, taking care of yourself. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a female. This is you leaving all the authorities behind and being your own authority figure. So it's like a freedom in this. Even if you stay in a relationship, you will be more self-sufficient, not being a child anymore. Actually taking care of yourself, not be. Inner children are good, but sometimes you can be immature and kind of lean towards an authority figure to fix everything for you. But now it seems like you fix this yourself. So that's good. That's a new grown-up ability. And the Knight of Swords is a young energy as well. So it seems like someone is young with kind of talking back or telling their own version of things, telling them how they feel, how things and words and action makes them feel. So it's someone that's new at this. We had the Ace of Swords, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords. So it seems like you have been practicing on this for a little while, but not for a long while. Maybe just the last year or something like that. Or last few years. So I will take some cards for you from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Probably that. And another card. So we have those two cards. First, we have the Keeper of Scales. So this is emphasizing this with that needs to be balance here. If we are going to have a happy country, a happy family life, a happy marriage, there needs to be equality. Okay, so this is your main task to see that this happen. Even if you have to use a little bit of warrior force to make this happen. This is what you're supposed to do, making equality. We see this with the Six of Pentacles as well. And here we have the Arrow Master, and that's kind of the magician. So you have the authority in your life now over you. You decide what you want to do, and you have this self-sufficientness to prove it. All these flowers, it's you creating your life with more positive expectations instead of the old way of thinking that might be like, oh, all those things can go wrong. Now you are going to think all those things can go right. This is what I want. Arrow Master is deciding a goal and shooting for it, hitting the mark. So it's hitting the mark, intention and detachment, because when you have tightened the bow and let the arrow go, you can't steer it anymore. So you need to be able to take the consequences of your actions. And that's maybe why we have been so afraid to make uproar against authority, because we don't want to have the responsibility, but now you have it either way. Okay, so past life oracle card, see what's behind the curtains. Why do you have to make a little uproar here? Monk or nun in finances. Okay, so it feels like a little bit an ultimatum from my point of view, that you won't participate with people until they are treating you equal. For many of you, you will see something else but this is the first impression I get from this. This is finances. This is your value. The value you have on yourself is the value you have in your wallet. So money is love, and how much money you let universe bring to you shows you how much you love yourself. The monk or nun is a person kind of retreating from social life. It's a little bit like the King of Swords. He might be a perfect monk, actually, but I think this is more like maybe you becoming this person a little bit to prove your value for yourself, and this is going to give you much more self-esteem to show you that you can make it on your own. People need people in their lives, but they also need self-value. So this seems to be the most important thing for you right now. Okay. So, okay, I hope this helped, and thank you for watching this far. And I hope to see you again in the middle of January. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and a really Happy New Year. Take really good care about yourself. Okay, bye-bye.